I spent the whole morning at Coney Island shop, and it blew me away seeing the passion and the professionalism of our wonderful employees there, and actually how difficult it is to work with very old equipment. Just want to do a quick straw poll before we get into the presentation, although it's actually quite hard to see you because of all the lights. How many people here saw the show 60 Minutes, which was about transit? I see a few hands going up. So I was pretty pleased with that. We took a big risk asking 60 Minutes, inviting 60 Minutes in and accepting them, their offer to cover us. You know, they wanted to do a piece about 60 Minutes and in particular the fast forward plan. So that was a bit of a risk for us because you never know, right? 60 Minutes can be a very critical show. I was actually pretty pleased with the outcome. I was pleased for two reasons. One, because it really, I felt, conveyed what needs to be done to transform transit in this city. And it talked about the fast forward plan and why we're doing it and the prize that's at the end if we get the funding. But the second thing, and it was a stipulation I made, obviously they were going to make a bit of a show around the new president. There was a bit of interest because I'm not from here, but I said my stipulation is I don't want it all to be about me. I want it to be about frontline staff, and I want it to show the miracle that we perform every day in using ancient equipment in moving 8 million riders every day. So it was fantastic to see the signaller who was operating that 100-year-old signal frame, old trusty as she called it, the people working on the relays and doing the other repairs. So yeah, that's something I'm very proud of. I'm immensely proud to have the honor on your behalf of running New York City Transit. But I don't underestimate the challenge. When I was in Toronto, I knew what I was walking into, which was this. I happened to be in New York. I came down for what was called the Governor's Genius Challenge, and no one knew this was going to happen. I just happened to be in the audience. And Governor Cuomo rightly put the MTA into a state of emergency. If you cast your mind back to 2017, the summer of 2017, there was a series of high-profile events, all the problems at Penn Station on Amtrak, but specific to New York City Transit, derailments, track fires, all sorts of specific incidents, plus an overall general, relentless, perceptible decline in the reliability of the service and the standard of the service. So, you know, I knew I was walking into what I would say is the toughest job in world transit right now. But I like a challenge, and they don't come much bigger than this. So it's a transit system in crisis, and you as proud New Yorkers must think, how did it come to this? The world's greatest city with a transit system in crisis. What I'm here to describe to you today is how we can pull out of that, how we can pull out of it in an unprecedented timescale. It can be done. We've got the plan to do it. We need the money to do it. We need your patience to do it. And we need the sustained political support that will endure beyond the political cycle. I believe all of those can be achieved, but we need to make the case. So what are we talking about? So I remember my first day, you figure out you're going to be met by a press scrum, and sure enough I was. So I figured out that what was it I wanted to say, because that would, to a certain extent, it sets out what you want to achieve, what you think, because I was going to be asked, Mr. Byford, what do you think are the priorities? So to me, there were 4 absolute, crystal clear priorities to effect what needs to be an all-out, absolute, total modernization of New York City Transit. As it says up there, the infrastructure, kind of obvious, with that ancient 100-year-old safe but unreliable equipment. The infrastructure needs to be overhauled. Our processes, which hold us back and mean that you get frustrated because we're kind of bureaucratic as an organization, they need to be overhauled. And the general culture, albeit with fabulous employees, 50,000 great men and women of transit, the culture needs to be universally excellent so that good people within the company can flourish and progress, but also that you feel valued as customers. So with that in mind, I knew it was, I wanted to talk at that initial press scrum. I knew I wanted to say, this is not about tweaking, this is about an all-out modernization, but it needed to be anchored around basically